Mr. Sulu. 2016 is over. That's right. The worst year for movies in recent history is behind us. And 2017 is now here, which means an orange monster in a bad wig is in charge of the free world. But on the plus side, but with the passage of time, our opinions on films sometimes change, so I thought I'd have a bit of a retrospective, a look back over last year's movie releases, and also fill in the gaps of some of the movies I saw but didn't review here on my YouTube channel, and let you guys know what I thought looking back at 2016. First up, we've got The Boy. I didn't review films at that point on my YouTube channel, so I didn't tell you guys about it. The Boy was a weird little horror film about a weird little porcelain boy and a lady from America who comes to Britain to escape a horrible relationship, and she's told to look after the doll like it's a real person, and it starts to do things that make her think it might be real, and there's a really dumb twist at the end that ruins the movie if you look back at anything that happened prior to the twist, because you're like, nah. The Boy is really dumb, but very well sort of paced. Not gonna lie, I had fun with it for that first hour and a half. I was like, okay, interesting. You're selling me on this thing maybe being alive without obviously showing it. If you're a fan of slightly naff horror movies, definitely check out The Boy. If you're a fan of only the finest quality horror, avoid it. Hail Caesar is up next. This is a Coen Brothers movie. Not a huge fan of the Coens. I don't dislike them. I'm just not one of those people who looks forward to their movies coming out in a big way, although I do really like The Big Lebowski. Hail Caesar was a really nice callback to old school Hollywood, something which apparently La La Land did later in the year over in the States. Yet to see it over here, so I'll get around to that, don't you worry. But a really great cast, and unfortunately it has the Big Lebowski Coen Brothers thing of it's not really about anything at the end of the day in terms of an actual plot or progression, whereas the Big Lebowski, that feels fine because the dude was never about actually progressing in his life in any way, whereas Hail Caesar sort of felt like it needed a denouement of some kind, and it didn't. However, interesting enough, it's on Netflix, give it a watch. Boy, can Channing Tatum dance. I don't mean that dancing, I mean, you can do that too, but I'm talking about sort of, just watch it. We're in February with Deadpool. Love Deadpool, still. I've watched it about 6 times since it was in the cinema. I saw it once in the cinema, a couple times on a plane, and about 3 times on home video. I adore Deadpool. I think it's a breath of fresh ass when it comes to the comic book genre movie. It's how you do an R-rated comic book movie right, Warner Brothers. And also, might actually be the only really good X-Men movie. Like, I really like X2 and First Class, but this might be the first really good X-Men movie. It's got a cookie-cutter plot, but it's well aware of that, and it's about having fun and spending time with this character who could have been incredibly irritating, but they made him really likeable. So well done. Still love a bit of Deadpool. Zootopia, or as it was called over here in the UK, Zootropolis, for some reason. God, I love this film. I got it for Christmas. It's in the house now, so I want to rewatch it desperately, but I have such fond memories of it. I have a lot of respect for it. Some wonderful visual gags, beautiful animation, fantastic voice acting, and ultimately a really good core message that kids won't get right away, but will realise the older they get. London Has Fallen. I saw this on DVD on a short holiday later in the year. I didn't see Olympus Has Fallen, though I love the fact that Olympus Has Fallen referred to the White House, and yet London's just London. It's not like the White House, where the president lives. It's Mount Olympus, the president is Zeus. Just hope the current one can't hurl freaking thunderbolts. And London's just, London. Big, dumb action movie, very stupid, and I mean, yeah, if it's late night and you're in a rental house on holiday and there's a DVD of it next to the TV, give it a watch, you'll have a laugh, enjoy some wine with it maybe, like we did. But also, big missed opportunity in that film, and I imagine it counts for the first film as well. Jared Butler and Aaron Eckhart as the bodyguard and the president should be an item, because that would be different, okay? That would be different. There were several bits of the movie where it's just like, these guys are best friends. Now kiss. And they didn't kiss. So, 0 stars, -5 stars, 0 out of 10. What? 10 Cloverfield Lane. God, I enjoyed that movie. And Retrospect, the ending comes out of freaking nowhere, but knowing it happens will probably make repeat viewings more enjoyable. Worth it for John Goodman's performance alone. Just worth it. If you like creepy films, if you like real tense thrillers, 10 Cloverfield Lane, watch it. Random side note, my 10 Cloverfield Lane review contains no footage of the movie. However, if it did, it would still come under fair use because it's critique and review. It contains one photograph of the cast in my video, the 3 cast members around the oil drum. And it's copyright striked by Paramount. So any earnings for that video go to Paramount. And I'm not going to bother disputing it because no one's rushing back to watch a 10 Cloverfield Lane review. But wow, arseholes, I gave your movie a high rating. You bag of dicks. Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. Ugh. I've already spent 40 minutes of YouTube time talking about why that movie's a piece of crap in my 2 previous videos. But I'll say this, further points. Extended Cut has been out since. I've not bothered watching it. Matt of the Big Damn Cast has watched it. He says it doesn't improve it. It doesn't even add new insights. It's just sort of like, oh, here's a bit of additional footage. Don't buy extended cuts. If you didn't like the movie in the cinema, don't buy it on home video hoping the extended cut will be better, because you've still given them your money and you've fallen for it. If their movie wasn't good enough in the cinema, why the hell should they try and get your money again by saying, oh, it'll be better on home video? No, make it good the first time I see it, you pricks. It does mean, however, I'm really looking forward to the Lego Batman movie, simply because finally we've got a Batman film that doesn't take itself seriously. After the Nolan films, which are grounded in reality, the Batman of the DCEU should have been a bit more fantastical. I'm not saying, be Adam West. I'm saying, little fella. I'm saying, be a bit more Arkham, be a bit more animated series, like you are in a world with freaks and monsters and psychopaths dressed in colourful clothing. Be a bit more fantastical. But instead, no, I'm a murderous beefcake who hates you because you're an evil vigilante from space. Well, I hate you because I'm a murderous beefcake and you're an evil vigilante from Earth. We have the same problem with each other. Yes, we're hypocrites. Yes, this film is a bag of shit. Captain America Civil War. Superhero conflict story done right. This had stakes, it had emotional depth, it had investment in the characters. Whether you have a vague knowledge of them from just seeing them on billboards and in adverts over the last few years, or whether you've watched all the movies, you're interested to see why Captain America and Iron Man are fighting. And in the movie, it's an interesting reason. And they're fighting on the sides you didn't expect them to be fighting on. And it works really well. And you have a hero battle where it's not like, we're going to kill each other. It's, right, you guys are fugitives. We've got to stop you. We've got to put an end to you running away and trying to get out of this sign of the Sokovia Accords. So it's not about beating people to death. It's about them trying to get them off their back and them trying to bring them in. Which was great. That airport set piece was incredible. It's not a flawless movie. Oh, you've been paid off by Marvel. Mother lovers, I love Marvel and DC. I just think the DC movies are terrible. The Marvel movies are alright to excellent, for the most part, based on the track record. So, Captain America Civil War, I still recommend it to anybody who's a fan of good action and interesting characters and compelling, likeable superheroes. The Jungle Book, a visual marvel. Excellent movie. I'm not big on the whole live-action remake of animated classics, but this one is kind of the exception, simply because to see that world, something which you cannot see in real life unless you have years of experience, millions of pounds worth of resources to be able to spend to go that deep into the jungle, and see these animals up close. To make that into a live-action movie with a live-action actor to connect with was a bold choice, and they pulled it off. And it was an excellent film. It's visually stunning. From that very first moment, if you hit the Disney castle and the logo, and the music from the original 1967 film starts playing, the camera just pulls back, and the forest and the canopy starts to appear above the camera. It was just like, wow, they weren't messing around. They were like, yeah, come on, we're going to make this worth it. Still no idea how Favreau is planning on doing The Lion King in live action. I assume by live action they mean there's going to be a grass patch on a set of blue screen somewhere. Just stop now. I don't mind the Jungle Book sequel idea you've got coming, because you've got plenty of source material to base your stories off of. But Lion King, nah fam, stop. Ratchet and Clank! Have played the game and platinumed it since watching the movie. Just play the game. Don't waste your time in the movie. It's fine. It's a passable hour and 15 minute cartoon movie, but 50% of the material is in the game. Go play the game. X-Men Apocalypse is dire. It's a terrible X-Men movie. Because it's full of actors who don't give a shit anymore. Jennifer Lawrence! Weird tonal shift. Have it, guys, and then we have a comedy running sequence with Quicksilver. And a waste of one of their most sort of frightening villains. The best part about it is the 5-minute opening in Egypt, set in the past. I would watch a whole movie about that. Rest of it, waste of time. Didn't do a review for The Conjuring 2, but I dug it. I enjoyed it. It's not as striking as the first movie. The first movie works really well because it's essentially a traditional ghost story, haunted house, exorcism kind of thing, told with the care and consideration of older movie making. Because James Wan's great with that, with horror. All of his sort of, I suppose, descendants of the Blumhouse horror movie factory, not so much. James Wan is the king of it. I'll be interested to see what happens with his second furor into action with his second journey into action with Aquaman. All this DC movie, so I'm not entirely stoked, but Conjuring 2 is lovely. Mostly for our two leads being absolutely charming. A few interesting scares, not as good as the first, but decent enough horror film. 3 stars. Central Intelligence, big dumb comedy movie, and a lot of fun. Again, don't seek it out. You don't need it in your life. But if you enjoy Kevin Hart, you enjoy the work of The Rock, you'd like to see them together, I could think of a worse way to spend 9 minutes. Finding Dory was an unnecessary sequel told very well. Like Monsters University, it doesn't hold a candle to the original, but it's not a bad movie. So again, if you enjoy those characters and you want to spend a bit more time with them, now you have the chance. Independence Day Resurgence was a big pile of shite. Terrible movie. Terrible action set pieces. Terrible performances. Its biggest crime, giving Brent Spiner more screen time. Its biggest positive decision, giving Brent Spiner more screen time. You can have too much of a good thing. I'm harping on at Brent Spiner. I love a bit of Brent Spiner, but it's just, oh, no. Don't make the follow-up. Here we go! Ghostbusters, ladies and gentlemen. I stand by my statements that when I went and watched it at the cinema, I had fun. Never gonna buy it. Never gonna download it. Probably never gonna watch it again. But it was inoffensive as a family-friendly comedy movie. It missed so much of why the original is a classic and is in so many people's hearts. I think it has had mixed results with its overall intention. I think by bringing people like Leslie Jones and Kate McKinnon to the forefront, putting them in the spotlight, you are showing off the untapped comedic talents, within Hollywood at least, of these fantastic performers. But at the same time, the film did not help with the generic umbrella of, we can prove that female leads can be the face of action and adventure movies and blockbusters in the summer movie season, because you put some very talented people in a movie that wasn't a brilliant movie. And that's damaging. I think if you love the original, you're not gonna love this one. But if the original is something you enjoy, just I like Ghostbusters, then you'll probably get a kick out of this one too. I still can't give them a pass for Lady Slimer though. I don't mean they're not allowed to do it. Slimer can't be a girl, so there can't be girl Slimers. That's not what I mean. I just mean the fact they were there are male and female Slimers. The males just look like Slimer and the females have wigs and lipstick. I don't care how much Matt had a problem with me having a problem with it, but she was wrong. She's wrong! Suicide Squad. Warners, you have access to some of the most fantastical and wonderful characters in all of fiction. Specifically an excellent rogues gallery. All of your heroes have some pretty cool bad guys. One of your heroes in particular has some of the best villains ever created in fiction. And you're done. Get up. You ruined it. Suicide Squad was dreadful. Ditch Enchantress, make Joker the main villain, do Joker completely differently, get rid of your overly superpowered characters, write some actual character arcs for these people, stop wasting fantastic actors on dreadful storytelling. Doctor Strange, Marvel plays it safe once again by doing an origin story, and that's kind of refreshing at this point. We haven't really had that from Marvel for a while. Ant-Man sort of dabbled in it, but it was a little untraditional. A lot of fun, really nice performances, dug it, cannot wait to see what they do with this character and his world going forward? I guess we're going to find out in Thor Ragnarok later this year, which incidentally is the Marvel movie out of the 3 coming out this year that I'm most excited about, just because you've got, like, Thor, Doctor Strange, and the Hulk. Dimension hopping. Yes, please. Fantastic Beasts, and we don't know what to do with them. It was fine. It was fine. It should have been more about chaos and less about sequel baiting. But some nice turns in there, some nice performances from some of the actors, and some very nice visuals. If you're looking for your Harry Potterverse magic, go back and watch the Harry Potter films. Moana. Love Moana. Cried like a baby watching Moana. Twice. So, yeah, Moana always gets my vote. Lovely Disney film. Feels like a really nice sort of callback to the 90s Disney Renaissance stuff. And has some fantastic performances, specifically from our 2 leads. It's just, Moana's great, man. Moana's great. After not loving Frozen, which I know I'm in the minority there, but after not loving Frozen, Moana really did kind of pull me back. So, yeah. Cannot wait to buy that one on Blu-ray when it comes out. Assassin's Creed! What a pile of crap! Assassin's Creed is dreadful. Video game movies once again prove that they're a pointless venture, they'll never work, and they're dreadful, by producing yet another terrible, pointless venture of a video game movie that was dreadful. Assassin's Creed is terrible. It takes a series of games with an interesting idea when it comes to playing it, but not in telling the story, and tells that story that doesn't work, and it's just, it's dire, and sequel baits at the end ain't gonna happen. And finally, one I didn't review on my channel, but I did on the Big Damn Cast. Go over to the playlist on my channel to listen to it. Rogue One. Yeah. At first, I was like, wow, this is great. And then on my second watch, I was like, it's not as great as I thought on first viewing, but that doesn't mean it's not an enjoyable film. If you like Star Wars, you're probably going to enjoy it, because there's a lot of stuff in there that expands on the story you thought you knew. If you like action flicks, war movies, this is a really cool sci-fi take on that. We've seen before, like with things like Starship Troopers and everything, but this is the first one, kind of, I suppose, aimed at families as well. The film's biggest flaw is the characters aren't fleshed out enough for you to care about them all. And I mean really care about them. You're just like, oh, I kind of like that one because they're funny. Oh, I kind of like that one because they did that thing. Oh, I kind of like that one because the movie's telling me I should like them. And I think they did that because they knew that there would be kids watching, and because of the tragedy that inevitably strikes missions like this that happens toward the end of the film. You didn't want your younger audience to feel bad, which is a shame, because I think you're underestimating your young audience there. However, the final plan retrieval sequence, the last like 25 minutes on Scarif, is pretty cool. You get a nice bit of Vader, you get an unnecessarily long bit of Tarkin. One scene, and I think we all would have been like, okay. But like 5, nah. If it's not a film that interests you, you probably won't give a crap watching it. But if you like Star Wars, give it a go. There's worse things you could do. Namely, watch episode 1, 2, or 3. Where's Goosebumps? It came out in the US the year before, so it wasn't on my little list. But yeah, Goosebumps still enjoy. It's basically a lovely little kind of Gremlins-y sort of film for younger kids, so still watch that. And also watch this channel, because this year I'll be watching more films than before, viewing even more movies. If there are any films out of the cinema that you really want me to watch and you have my reaction, always comment here on the channel, always comment on the videos, let me know, because I'll go out my way to try and see them for you. And also, in case you haven't heard, brand new channel, Mother Lovers, Big Damn channel here on YouTube. The Big Damn Cast is going to be posted on there from now on YouTube. Plus we have video content, Big Damn Love, loads of great stuff on the way. I'll see you all very soon. What was your favourite film of last year? Tell me down there.